Live.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Accessibility and Inclusion Podcast, Above and Beyond. My name is Anthony Frisina, as always, joined by Maddy Dever. Maddy, how are you?
I am awake. That's a good thing. I am warm because we're not in a Arctic tundra of minus 43 degrees wind chill, and I am dry because it's not been snowing or raining. So it means that I've had the chance to get out in my community a bit in the last 2 days. Yay me! So that's
I love it.
that's my life and the weather all wrapped up in one beautiful blue bow. Oh, I
Very
forgot
good.
something here. We need to put the outlay on it. There
Yeah,
we go. The
we
overlay is
need
on.
the outlet. Hey, it's a Monday, folks. We will get used to this eventually. We've only been doing
Monday.
this for a couple months, so we'll get
Yeah.
used to it, guys. Thanks so much for joining us once again for this Above and Beyond the Accessibility and Inclusion Podcast Live. Um, you know what, Maddy? I gotta say, um, it's been an interesting a few days on my end. Last couple of days I spent having a conversation with PSW students at Mohawk College, which was
Hmm.
really exciting. I gotta say, they were so receptive, and I kept emphasizing the term lived experience because I wanted to make sure that they can understand what they understand from the books and the academia side of it, but having someone who's lived it, who's gone through it, to guide the path of safe transfers using a slider board. um, Mind you, now I don't use a slider board, but back in the day I used a slider board. So to be able to teach that to he's pondering.
Not punning this time,
Exactly.
just commenting.
No,
Yeah.
just absolutely. Lived experience is rich and has a lot of value, and it deserves compensation for the value in which it brings. Notwithstanding the fact that we had a very very wholehearted and just conversation with the students, and they really took a appreciation to the conversation because I talked about above and beyond. Correct. Correct. See, I'm always like I'm getting distracted by the Bruce Banners here, and then I've got my thoughts going on, and then
I
you
know.
tend to throw me off, Matt.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I mean to add on to give added value to.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
certainly no. It certainly
Yeah.
does give a lot of added value, Maddie, and I appreciate our relationship for. It feels like forever. You feel like one of those people that when I met you the first time, I feel like I've known you forever. I gotta say that.
I totally agree. It's like we're brothers from a different mother in different time zones, and we got lost in the yes. It's like we've known each other for a long time.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes,
And
we don't finish each other's sandwiches because half the time we're not even near each other.
true, true. Let's go with
Yeah.
that. Um, yeah,
Back to
and
you.
oh, back to me. Okay, cool. And so like just on my end, Maddie, too. It's navigating Hamilton through the paratransit
Mhm.
system wasn't as difficult of a weekend. I will say that. I
That's
will
good.
give
That's
credit
good.
where credit is due. I mean, it continues to be the same challenges over and over, but it's you become used to them. Doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean you don't want them fixed. Doesn't mean you don't acknowledge them. Like
Yeah.
um, first time it happens, uh, it's circumstance. Second times it happens, it's coincidence. Three or more, it becomes a pattern. And when it's three or more, and the pattern starts to present itself, then it's time for people like you, people like me, to really be catalysts for change. So,
Yeah. I we live in a world where our lived experience shows us the barriers, the obstacles, the challenges every day. I mean, there's not a day goes by that we don't experience some barrier, whether it's an internal barrier or an external barrier. We hit them, and we spend a lot of time trying to find workarounds, trying to find the ways around, trying to find, you know, the you know, our first instinct is, well, we got to survive. Then our second instinct is we want to live. But what we want desperately is to get to a place where we thrive. And in order to thrive, we need barriers removed. And the only way to remove barriers is to be loud and consistent enough, but also draw in people that can, who have the power to have the levers of power to be able to, you know, remove those barriers. Um, Yeah, today I had an interesting discussion with another disability advocate, and we were trying to talk about things. We have grand ideas, and sometimes it's hard to figure out, like, where's the right path, who's the right person, who's the right, like, where's the right place to to get the result we want. And the system, we get lost in the system of the how, right? We we know we have a problem, we know there is a solution. The barrier is the system, and unraveling that system, like, sometimes, like, we have a really interesting system. uh I was talking earlier to this advocate, the fact that our federal system of government is failing us, and we need to find a way of shifting and changing things, because so many things that we need that are affecting our very lives. The closer something is to affecting your life, the more local that government is. Um, so, like, if you live right downtown in any city, you're almost every breath you take and every step you take, the government's watching you. No, but
I'll be
the
watching
government,
you.
yeah, exactly. The government is involved in your life. The further you move away, the less government has on your life, the day-to-day steps, depending on where you are, because sometimes the further you are away, the more you need government. The government's not there. It's a balance. But it's, when we have a problem, you know, most of the things that affect you and I are provincial jurisdiction issues:
Yeah.
housing, disability income, disability supports, health, mental health, all of the things that we need to be able to survive and thrive are controlled by a government that sees us as broken, as um, a burden, really. I mean, they may not say it, but I think that they demonstrate that by the lack of priority they give us, and the myriad amounts of accessibility and disability things that are brought to their attention. The federal government has the money that could change some of these things, but it takes it's taken a lot of effort to get the federal government to say finally, hey, maybe we need to do a Canada disability benefit. Yes, let's study that. Let's think about that. Let's figure out how to do that. And everybody gets upset with that because it seems to be taking time. Well, the reason is the federal government just can't create something and say, here, people with disabilities, because it falls under provincial jurisdiction. So we're creating this thing, but the only way it's going to happen is if the federal government makes a deal with all of the provinces to say, "Hey, here's some money. Don't touch it. Here's some money we're going to give your people, because you're not doing it, but you can't touch this. But you don't have to spend more." Okay, we're hoping they all say okay and not say, well, you're getting this person's getting this much here, and we're getting this. Well, let's reduce that. That's the big fear that we all have. And this is, I think, one of the bigger barriers that we have in trying to change things is that one lever of change is willing to do something, another lever of change is stuck.
Yeah, but
Pull the wrong lever. Pull the lever. Trunk. Oh, a wrong lever.
so, You remember that brand Lever 2000? Kind of feels like
Yeah, it's lever 2000. Let me explain the incorrect pronunciation of some of these words that exist. Okay, every word ending with EVER is pronounced ever, lever, never, sever, forever, dever. No word with just EVER is pronounced ever. Ever would require another E at the end of the R. It's ever. Never forget the clever Dever. That's what my dad taught me to tell people so that we'd pronounce our name correctly. It was lever 2000. Lever. Leverage. Levitate. Lever. It's not
when you
you.
find the
It's the world I'm fighting.
when you find the clever Dever, let me know.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
But never
Notwithstanding
sever the
the
clever Dever.
okay, so back onto this, I had like nothing to comment on that one. So, right, but so getting back to the whole conversation, Maddie, like yeah, for the most part, they are provincial jurisdiction issues. But why can't the municipalities, you know, force a change within the? Oh, absolutely. No, I get that. But looking at the fact that the municipalities, in collection and in unison, can have a strong voice toward the municipal government. It's like when I've been advocating for, I think I've shown you, Maddie, the dynamic symbol of access. Correct?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. The
this
forward movement. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So this is the symbol. I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to do is without covering my face. Oh no.
Well,
Okay, so
you
this
can
is the
cover the face
dynamic symbols access.
temporarily. Temporarily, you can cover your face.
Okay, so that's the
You know what? I
dynamic symbol of
actually
access.
hold. I am going to. I want to actually. I want to talk to you about this. Looking at the symbols and symbolism we use in disability from where we've been to where we want to go, and I was going to talk to you about that because you've been part of the forward movement, and I think
Yeah,
it's a
and
great
and I
topic.
have a graphic that I'll send over to you. Sorry, folks,
That'd be
this
great.
is just us doing a powwow
Yeah,
and brainstorming right now on the
exactly.
live. So just give me 1 second. So yeah, Maddie, I do have a graphic demonstrating the before and after. So I certainly will
Yeah,
send that to you.
or the before and after.
Wow. Okay.
I
Okay. So
realized
let's
that
get.
that pun didn't work. The pun didn't work because it's actually the after. It's whatever. It's the before and then the forward. Yeah, there we go. That works much better than the first pun I did. Okay, so I feel the need to do a disclaimer here, which I should have done at the beginning, at the opening. I had 3 hours of sleep last night. I have three things happened that created this issue. One, my brain just wouldn't shut off. I had ideas and ideas and ideas. I'm like, I need to sleep. And I try to sleep. I close my eyes. I put my head on the pillow. I'd have all of the things that normally help me do this. And my brain is still going, but what about this? This. You should do this. It's like, stop. Do this. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just try to doing something else. And then pain. I have my pain flares more at night than any other time. I think it's because my body doesn't like being stopped. And then 3 o'clock in the morning, my daughter came home from visiting friends in Kingston and talked really loud. I mean, her coming in woke me up. I was just about to sleep too, just about to sleep. And then when she came
Almost
home,
there.
the dog was barking for the next hour. And so I was like, I finally got to sleep at 5 and I needed to get up at 8 or 9. Oh, so anyways, I've had very little sleep, so I'm a little bit punchy and I might be a little bit louder and more animated
Animated.
than I normally am. I mean, get me in a good conversation. I'm animated, right? You know me. I go ranting, but
Yeah.
today I definitely feel similar to the recording we did of the podcast at 8:30 at night about 4 weeks ago, where I was I haven't broken into voices yet. Go ahead. Anyways, back to you. Forward and onward.
Yeah, so
Dog
with
yard.
regards to the forward movement, it's the way that it's called the dynamic symbol of access, and it's the way we've changed from the universal symbol of accessibility to the dynamic symbol of access. Hamilton has adopted it, so and I'm not sure where it is in the standing of Carlton Place, but we've gone through municipal uh, backings. We've delegated at councils at various levels and various municipalities all across Ontario. So many
Yeah.
municipalities have adopted it. So that's why I wanted to bring up in this case, Maddie, the idea of the advocating toward the municipalities.
Yeah, municipalities have a lot of ability. I mean, they're the day-to-day stuff in our lives generally is the municipalities responsible for it. The province, it's probably about a 60-40 split between the province and the municipalities, depending on whether you're urban or rural. Ford is, you said, it's the dynamic symbol of action.
Access.
Access. Yeah, I was typing as I was listening, and I missed that last word, which is why I didn't put it up. There we go. We're talking about this.
Yeah, we're talking about the forward movement,
Okay.
and it came into Canada in I want to say 2016 through two gentlemen by the name of Dylan Nitzikowicz and Jonathan Silver. They got it from the States and adopted its rights and whatnot to bring it in Canada. And one of the ideas that I have is that I want to try to partner with the Canadian Football League to create some sort of an action plan with the dynamic symbol of access. Now, that being said, in the US, it's called the Accessible Icon Project.
Okay.
So when Dylan and Jonathan brought it here, we just kind of maneuver the name a little bit, and call it that dynamic symbol of access because it really is dynamic in the fact that, and we'll have a more in-depth discussion, I'm sure, whether it's on
Absolutely.
a podcast or on a another live, the importance of symbols and how symbols matter.
Yeah.
People from time to time will think that it's a symbol. The golden arches, we all automatically think of McDonald's. Like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. A little top hat with the Arby's symbol is just Arby's. It's the yellow shell is the Shell gas station.
Can you put it up again?
The red
Can you put
truck.
it up again right
Sorry,
now?
what's that?
Can you put it up
Oh,
again?
sorry.
The symbol? Yeah. So is that it that I have on the screen?
No,
What
that's
do you
not
see
it.
on the screen?
I see a
Like,
symbol on the screen,
yeah.
but it's not the dynamic symbol.
Really?
It's not. No,
It looks
it's an
identical.
imposter. It's an imposter.
It's an impasta. Should we put some sauce on it?
Here we go. Here we
Okay.
go.
I'm okay. So I think that the symbol is in Apple's emoji set because that's the symbol that I'll have to blow it up and whatnot. But I think that Apple has adopted it as part of their emoji set, which is really cool.
Interesting. Okay, which is cool. But that's not the
Yeah.
symbol that denotes the dynamic symbol of access. But yeah,
Okay.
I've seen that symbol around as well.
Well, yes, because we use
So
it in our messenger thing. That's the thing I say. That's a
that's the
thumbs up.
symbol. Okay.
That's the symbol. And it crashes
Aha!
with a big bang.
What a
Yeah.
theory that
That's
is.
how that's how I like very familiar. It's like I'm pretty sure that it's in use in the States because that's where Apple's based.
Right.
But what we need is it everywhere. Oh.
Absolutely.
I have an accessible symbol story. Oh, I have a rant going.
Tell me.
Can I do it? Do you need to finish
Yep.
yours? So I may
No,
have
go ahead.
interjected. Okay.
Nope. Go ahead.
One of the most frustrating things that I experience as a person with a disability, especially a mobility one, is when they have buttons that don't work at different times of the day, but the door opens at the same time. Like when you're trying to go out, you can push the door open, but you can't hit the button because the button's on a timer. Why? Because, well, that's getting fixed. That organization, I chatted with their CEO, and they're like, "Oh, that shouldn't be like that. That's an oversight. We'll fix that." I always address things and look for solutions. Okay, so that was one
Absolutely.
thing, because I actually had to find somebody. Like, I couldn't push the door; it was too heavy, so I had to wait for somebody to let me out, which is frustrating when I have to do that, because it's frustrating for everybody else having to take their time to do something, and whatever. That got resolved. But I went to a Tim Hortons yesterday. I won't say which one. If you know where I live, you may know. Um, the button to get in. So the first button to get in worked. Great. The button, because they have these winter things to prevent poor people with coffees getting cold because wind blows in. So they have the second door. That one, the button did not work. And I pushed it and pushed it, and I think, like, do I have to hold on to it? Because sometimes it's like the right. You have to be. You have to have the right aura around you to get doors open. That didn't work. And then I was like trying to get people's attention to like help, because again, these doors are heavy. I couldn't get in, and finally somebody opened it, and realized on the way out that the button, like, that door buttons did not work. Period. And it hasn't worked. Because I went there about 4 weeks earlier, and it was the same issue. And I spoke to the manager then. They said, "Yeah, we'll look at it." Anyways, I needed to go to the bathroom, as one sometimes needs to do. So, first of all, there were two bathrooms. The first one, um, which has the accessible symbol on it, and I've been in there before, and I haven't really had a problem with it. It was locked. I was like, "Knock, knock, anybody in there?" No, it was locked. So I went to ask if they could be opened, and then I waited 10 minutes because he said he was, just going to deal with the one customer and come back. He didn't come back. So I went to the other bathroom, which had also an accessible symbol on it. There was not one thing in the bathroom that was
Oh
accessible. I
no.
could,
Oh no.
it took me 3 minutes to wedge myself to a way that I could close the bathroom door, and then I'm like right where the toilet is. So I was like, and I was trying to find a way to not fall onto the toilet, getting out of my wheelchair, because there really wasn't any place to back into. Then, so okay, so there was one thing that was probably helpful. There was a bar on the side of the toilets if I needed, okay, that's accessible in quotes. The sink, can I get to it? No. Can I reach the water? No. Can I reach the soap? No. Can I reach the blow thingy or whatever? No. Can I access the garbage can that was behind me? No. Did it take me 4 minutes to get out of the freaking bathroom? Ugh. Don't put accessible signs up unless you're actually accessible. It's enraging because we rely on that symbol to say, "Hey, we're here. We've got things ready for you. You can use this. You don't need help. Hey, and there's a button inside here because you do need help, but we don't hope that you don't." But these signs mean nothing. The symbol
It
should mean accessible, not,
it begs the question.
"Hey, try." Sorry, rant off.
It begs no, but you bring up a really great point, Maddie. It begs the question. When something is deemed accessible, does it go through some sort of process that it's checked by a person with a disability? Oh no, not again! Oh, not again with the
No,
water.
no, I ask that question all the time. I had this time at the new restaurant that I go to, that they really have been thinking through accessibility. Then I went into the bathroom and I couldn't get out because I couldn't access the door, and I had to call them. And again, there was nothing accessible in their bathroom except the path. There was nothing accessible in the bathroom either. But they're a new restaurant, and their owner is like really wants to listen, really here. And I said, the one solution you get. The manager came in, and we looked at things, and I showed him, and he could see, well, maybe if we do this, make this actually much easier. And I'm like, yes. Like, he could see the solutions as I was talking to him about the problems. And that's allyship, by the way, people. That is
That's
allyship.
allyship,
Oh
absolutely.
my God. It's like, to stop saying I can't fix it and start saying there's a solution somewhere. Let's find it. That's the attitude shift. That's the difference between, I will keep going to that place because of that. Whereas this Tim Hortons, I had such a frustration trying to get the manager and say, "Hey, this two things here. Your staff didn't come to help me, and I needed it. Like I really, really needed it. And like there's accessible things that I've brought up before that are not being dealt with, and there's this real like you've got a sign that is a lie. So there, I don't want to go back there. Like I may have to because it's like the only place, Tim Hortons I can reach, and I've got gift cards there, and so I don't want to spend money on coffee, but I have a gift card. That's not spending money, right? Okay,
Right.
that's a me thing. But I don't want to go back there. I'm begrudgingly going there. Just and I don't think I'd want to go in there and stay again. I really don't think so. I think I might go in there and get coffee and go back out. But it's such a difference, such a huge difference. And like I'm really riled up. I'm so sorry. I think it's
No,
I'm
that's
on
no.
edge.
You know
I'm
what? This is
tired.
what this is
But this
about.
is this was yesterday, and I was in distress because
Yeah, absolutely.
of the lack of service, the lack of access, and the complete lie of the sign. I could have fallen because of the setup there.
Yeah,
And I
again,
think you
that
know what
begs.
I think I need to go back there. I think I need to make a video, and I think I need to post it, and I think I need to tag Tim Hortons and say, "Hey, I've been trying. You haven't been doing anything. This is a
Yeah.
problem. This is a real huge problem." And here's the solution. Here are solutions because yeah. So symbols are great when they actually identify that they're there to support a need. Clearly,
Absolutely.
like Union
And
Station, I
this
think I've
is
said before, has accessible signs everywhere, but it's the same symbol means totally different things, and you don't know what it means without the
yeah,
context. There's no context. Is accessible elevator? Oh, that's what you mean. Oh, it's a toilet. Oh, okay. There's a ramp. Oh, okay. What does it mean? The same symbol without context is confusing.
yeah, yeah, without question. It has to go through some sort of like accessibility kind of. I don't want to say checker because that's not the right word. It's like kind of
No,
an
the
accessibility through lived
advocate.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has to go through an
somebody
advocate.
needs to. Yeah, just sends get somebody get an organization, and there's many of them, and maybe we
Yep.
should do this as part of the ODC. I know that the Rick Hansen Foundation does these kind of things. There's a lot of us. Give us $50 or a free meal or whatever for just a trip going through things, and we can identify what works, what doesn't work, and solutions. You know, do this before you open. Do this when you're doing changes. Some like government groups are more and more beginning to engage with disability things before they do things. This is great, but we need retail governments to do. AODA without teeth is useless, and this is one of the things that maybe we need to advocate the government to do, is to provide some funding for organizations that are going to be under AODA to have these audits on their existing system or on the changes they want to make. Because I swear every time a store opens up, if they had just gone through with my wheelchair first, they probably would have laid it out differently. But
Yeah,
once it's
without
done, it's
question.
hard to change.
With you bring up a great point, Matty, and I have two kind of comments for this food for thought. Being that I work at a college, we have programs like PSW, we have like child
Yeah.
support or child and youth care programs. We have different types of programs, and one of the lesson plans throughout it is people without lived experience of disability experiencing lived experience of disability. Now it's touch and go because at the end of the day, the lived experience of disability that they are undertaking for like an hour goes away because that simply is not. So I've been kind of privy to both sides of it. I mean, I'm a avid proponent of you know roll a mile in my wheels.
Yeah.
See what it's like for me.
Builders,
Yep.
in all the college programs for apprenticeships and whatnot, and whatnot, it would behoove them to have a guest lecturer who's disabled to give them the point of view. I mean, that's the thing that I'm finding is the most effective way of making change in my own local community is doing point of view videos and explaining what I'm seeing and how I'm feeling. And builders, if they before they start building things, they hear from us, they see us, we can go into their work areas where they're building stuff, learning how to build stuff, and say, hey, let's have a conversation on universal design before you graduate, so that this kind of thing, and it becomes something that you are always thinking about from the start. Like, that just occurred to me. Like, there's so
Yeah,
many areas. Like, disability intersects with every aspect of life. So every aspect of life
absolutely,
could be
absolutely.
could be absolutely given value if the lived experience of the disabled can be there when you're learning about stuff. So
At the
like it takes
forefront of
so
the
long
conversation.
because we're dealing with systems that are there because
Broken.
well, no, they exist because existing knowledge, the ableist thing that people with disabled are have less value, right? That's been something that's been there for centuries, and so yeah, the next generation sort of holds that systemic memory. Now, in the last two generations, we're beginning to realize that, well, hey, oh, you can't see my hand here. I'm doing all these funny things with my hand. Like, the last few generations are like, whoa, people with disabilities aren't useless. They do have value, but we don't know what to do about it. We don't know how to change, and we're stuck in the system. But I swear, and I said this the last time, it's the Gen Zs or the Gen Zs or the whatever you want to call them, the post millennials. They want to see change now. They do not accept that things are the way they are because they're the way they were and they're unchangeable. And like, we're trying to see now, there's this big movement of people realizing that we need to change, that people with disability shouldn't be in poverty, that we do need to remove barriers, that we do need to move towards a culture of accommodation. And I, I'm hoping that that this generation, this can be the last generation that holds on to these systemic things. Like, once all the boomers, once all us Gen X's go, and greener, bluer, purpler pastures, or pink for me with glitter, um, there we're going to see the change that we need. That I have great hope. I'm so frustrated in the last day because of the barriers I hit. I just forgot. I think now I know why I'm riled up, because I got riled up last night and then couldn't sleep. So it's been sitting in me all day waiting for this moment. But we do have hope. I have great hope because we're seeing the change happening. It feels to us at a snail's pace. But I know that my daughters, they don't want to see, they don't want, they don't accept that it has to be the sucky way that their parents and their grandparents, are experiencing. We're seeing it in the States with them trying to fight gun laws. We're seeing it with Greta Thunberg and climate, and we're seeing it with young disability advocates that are in their teens and 20s saying, no, enough. We're not going to accept the world's barriers on us. So I
Yeah,
have great hope.
it's as if our quality of life, Maddie, and with all due respect, is gate kept.
Yep.
It's our lives are contingent on
We
access
live in
and
yeah.
dignity and independence and respect. Same human rights that everybody else deserves. Disability rights are human rights. And the underlining factor, as you made the symbol earlier, Maddie, is money. It's Yeah, exactly. We do live on the wrong side of a gated community, and this is what we're continuously trying to advocate for.
Mm-hmm.
And sidebar, I just got a really awesome email and a really not so awesome email. So it just kind of came in. One affects us, Maddie. I will talk to you about this offline, but I do apologize because it's just exciting me right now. So anyway, okay. So back to the rant, the idea. Our quality of life should not be gate kept. Autonomy and agency is for everybody. And when we talk about voices, Maddie, for me, a voice is not just a voice that we're doing like this. A voice is also a way of detailing what you want. It doesn't have to be in the way of a quote unquote stereotypical voice. It could be a nudge, for example. It could be a sound. It could be a gesture. Making your mark comes in more than just a voice. Fair enough. I'll take things that start with the letter A for 500, Alex.
Exactly. But this list here, change Anthony's name to your name, because really that's what we're fighting for. All of these things.
Absolutely.
Without all of them, we really don't have anything. That's another
Absolutely.
A word. Yeah.
It's about 7 letters. So anyway, but we can't say that on this live. But that just kind of went down the wrong way. Okay, but anyway. So getting back to this,
I'm pretty sure I know. That's okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, good.
It's like a donut.
So, oh no! Oh no! Oh,
well,
wow. Okay. So
I did say I've only had 3 hours of sleep.
Right. Okay. Yeah. There was a disclaimer, folks. Not at the beginning. Kind of like a couple minutes in, but we got it in.
Exactly.
So
time travel. We'll go back in time and put it there. Yeah. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah. Well. Yeah. No, we can't do that. This is live. So when it comes to the advocacy, Maddie, understanding the fact that when you've met one person with a disability, and putting the dynamic symbol of access or the universal symbol of accessibility really does need to go through some authentic and genuine way of affirming the fact that accessibility does exist.
Okay, so I apologize. I cracked up because I thought of something funny, and I wasn't going to interrupt, so I had to hold back. But now that you're taking a drink, I can. I'm not interrupting. I could say there's a really cool name for a sci-fi cooking show.
Right? I mean,
it's right there.
And it could star Rosemary.
Exactly. You'll leave at the end of every episode with sage advice.
Because what we don't want to leave them salty.
No. We definitely do not want that. It would be some cayenne of awful.
Oh wow! Yeah. I mean,
well, you know what though? You could always if it was on Netflix, you could have Netflix and chili peppers.
Yeah, but we don't want to leave them having chives.
No, but we could really make sure that you've got somebody to clove.
Maybe basil. Maybe rosemary.
It could be paprika.
On that note, guys, I think we're getting to the point where
the main star of the show though would be Herb. Okay.
Well, Herb's no good without garlic. Herb's no good without garlic. You need.
Oh no!
Garlic.
Okay, I said, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. If it went up too early, it would be because of all the leaks.
You mean to tell
Now we're moving
me?
now. Now we're moving into vegetables. Yeah, and
Uh,
okay, okay. Back to disability. That was just
okay,
an ADHD slide. So apologize for that, guys.
and now back to
Welcome.
regularly scheduled live with
This is what
Maddie and
I
Anthony.
say. We went down a rabbit hole. Yeah, it's my bunny.
Okay,
Rabbit hole bunny.
so so then Maddie, it begs the question: where do we go from here? Like, I mean, when it comes to like
Forward.
accessibility, it's often well,
We
that's
go
the
forward.
plan, but
Yeah.
how do we
How do
build
we
the
get there?
momentum?
Finding allies and hoping they don't burn out. No, it's really about, you know, um, like finding the more voices that are consistently saying and sharing the same thing. We share our stories. We find the data that shows, that can show the change that we need. And we've seen this when we're united, when we find the right message for the right thing that we need for that to defeat that barrier. We can see some movement. And I know we did that last year with the double ODSP. The very fact that we have 5% increase from the federal government, a lot of it goes to the fact that we were very consistently saying the same thing. Now, we didn't get what we asked for, but we moved the needle. We didn't get zero, which we had for the previous 4 years.
We certainly
Or
move the
3.5.
needle, and for our listeners out there, also the ODSP for those who are employed, I believe kicks in this month. No,
I believe so too. I think it's the income you earn in February. You can now earn up to $1,000 per month without any clawbacks. So, and to be honest, there's 25,000 people that this is affecting, and so probably out of that, this is going to benefit the vast majority of those people, because if you're making above $1,000 per month, you're getting close to where you're really getting close to not getting ODSP, depending on your whether you have kids or married or stuff like that. So it's a small sliver of people that are being helped, but it's really helping that small sliver of people. We need to push the needle. I think that if there was one attitudinal barrier that I think we really need to find some way of breaking, is this conservative thinking that the best social service is a job. And that may be correct, but we got to stop thinking. The attitude shift is to stop thinking that disability benefits are a social service. We need to think of them as a benefit and a program and supports. We need to decouple it
across
from
the
social
board.
assistance. We really need to decouple ODSP, the financial support of people with disabilities, from social assistance. If we do that, if we can somehow find a way of saying that, then and then the priority may shift, the funding may shift, but we'll never get this government to fund us the way we need to with the attitude they have. So it's meeting with your MPPs. Like I still have to do that with my own, and share your freaking story. Like, don't attack. Like, this is activism and advocacy. So I apologize. Attack. Your feelings are right. However, if we find a way of positively moving forward, sharing our negative stories, but positively trying to say one thing, I feel we'll have more effect with this government. The government doesn't like people being against them in large numbers. They don't like media talking against them in large stories, but they need the story and the data to say, hey. So I don't know. I have great hope, but it's that attitude that we somehow I I have great hope that we can change it. I know it's stranger things have happened. Hey, conservatives, there are gay conservatives that are being elected all the time. There are some conservatives that are trans in certain places that where the conservatives are not against trans rights. They're so like there is a part of the conservative movement that is progressive. They're not the majority right now, but they exist. There are people that are not, they're fiscally conscious, but progressively liberal. They exist, and we need to find them. We need to, support them, because anything can happen in politics. Doug Ford came in because Patrick Brown was kicked out of as a leader like a few months before an election, and he won by less than 1%. Doug Ford happened overnight. Anything can happen in politics. Anything can happen, right?
And to your point, Maddy.
It's so we just need relationships, advocacy, trying to find a unity of a message, being clear on your needs, sharing your story. It can move mountains.
I just felt like I was just in the midst of watching you do a WWE promo there. But in any event, like, without question,
we're gonna pound them. It's gonna be spectacular.
You're on mute. You just totally froze. Are you on mute?
There we go.
I don't hear you. There we go.
Okay, there we go. I may. The computer was like, "What are you doing? You're freaking me out." There's messages in the system. The computer lost contact with your microphone, so we shut it off for now. Maybe reset your phone. Sorry, I said
No,
at the top,
I guess it doesn't.
I hadn't done any voices yet, but there was a voice because you said WWE, so I figured I had to sort of do it because I
just
didn't
amp it up a little bit, eh?
I had to amp it up next level, and that's what we got to do.
And without question, Doug
next
Ford,
level.
Without
I can't reach my voice. I'm not. Oh my
question, God. Doug Ford, won overnight, as you just alluded to, which kind of correlates well, because disability can happen to anyone at any time.
Yep.
Like that.
Even Doug Ford.
Life changes. So why aren't we
Imagine
prepared
Doug Ford in a wheelchair? What would the world be like if Doug Ford was Don't put him in a wheelchair, people. That's not what I'm saying. But just imagine
I don't know how to comment to that.
Oh my God. Just like, honestly, sometimes we got the RDSP, the Registered Disability Savings Program, because Jim Flaherty, who was the finance minister, son, had significant disabilities. And so there was a lot of really positive changes made in a lot of the different tax laws and other things to support people with disabilities that just didn't exist before then. And why did it happen? Because there was a connection, and I'm not. I was just saying Doug Ford in a wheelchair because sometimes the thing that I've been experiencing with my little point of view videos that I've been doing, what's being told to me is I never understood it because I never saw it from a point of view. I've only seen mine. I did not know how it affected. That's why relationships and stories are so moving. They move the needle in a huge way.
It builds allyship.
Yes.
And I'm just thinking, Maddy, that the videos that you do, we need to recreate the vision of those videos that you do and call them Maddy Bombs. I think it might be the way to go.
It might be. We'll have a whole YouTube series on the Maddy Bombs. I actually started collecting I really hurt my voice by doing that voice.
No.
Oh, the hardest the one of the two hardest things that I've had to deal with and accept. I'm not sure if I accepted, just deal with. I haven't got to the acceptance point yet. Was my voice completely changed and it went lower, and I can't yell. I can't do scratchy voices. I used to do so many different voices as well as sing high ranges and sing loud, and I can't. So when I just did that little voice,
It
it's
affected
like
you.
it's like I feel like a whole bunch of razor blades attacked me, and it's not comfortable. Uh,
Okay.
life, life with
Whew.
disabilities is ever changing, ever
Well,
changing.
absolutely. And on that note, Maddie, I think it's about time. Here we go, Tony Holmes as well. I got a lot of those coming lately, but especially in transit. But you know what? We've had
So what's
a very
I hear something's tonight. You've got something on tonight. A repeat from last week, don't you?
well. Thank you for bringing that up, Maddie. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Mondays at 8:30. I have an official time slot. Mondays
Woohoo!
at
All
8:30.
right.
Above and Beyond on TV, Cable 14, cable14.com. Watch it. I do it voluntarily and I love doing it, so I don't make any money from it. So let's do it anyway. So
There we
I
go.
just appreciate the opportunity to have spoken with Ian McPherson, who he and I both ran in the election here in Hamilton. We did get the message about accessibility and inclusion out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it was a great conversation, and got to learn. Oh, jeez. Sorry, that caught me off guard. Um, but Ian and I really got the message out there. So it was good to be in the same race with him, different wards, notwithstanding, but
Yeah.
it was good nonetheless. I mean, and you know what? Shameless plug. Tomorrow is my birthday, guys.
Oh yes, I saw that on Facebook today. Thank you, Facebook, for reminding me. I was going to send an early birthday thing, but I figured that on this live, because we're not going to be live tomorrow, I would say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Well played, my friend. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Maddie. So yeah, with all that going on, guys, yeah, things are going crazy this week. Got some big things happening, and we'll be sure to share it on social media. I have a new Twitter handle, or sorry, a new Facebook handle at above and beyond Anthony Frisina.
I'm going
So
to
that's
actually
my
create a
new.
banner for that right now. Give me a
Yeah,
second. I'll create one. So
that's
Anthony. It's
above and
at
beyond
uh-huh above
above and
and
beyond
beyond. Uh-huh.
Anthony Frisina on Facebook. Um, yeah, it's been coming to my attention that I created a lot of Facebook accounts for all the different things that I do, and it was really just time to amalgamate everything. So everything I've got my personal Facebook, and then everything professional is really going to go to at above and beyond Anthony Frisina, and I may throw a little professional in the personal account as well, because I
Yeah.
am living what I do. Like the advocacy work, Maddie, pardon me, that we do
Yeah.
is not 8:30 to 4:30, 9 to 5. It's all day, every day. I
Yeah.
got a really great response from the students from the PSW classes last week. Thank you very much. And it's really opened the doors for other opportunities. So we're
Yeah.
really
I love it
trying
when
to
it does that.
expedite the process to greater access and greater inclusion. I will tell you this, Maddie. I reached out to my fellow members of the advisory committee in Hamilton to really talk about engaging people to declare September 5th David Onley
Yeah.
Day. It's
Yes. We should
huge.
make that. Yeah. So we really need to move on that and push that, because I really think that would be a really good legacy and a way to move the past forward.
Absolutely, yeah, and I do as well.
Yeah.
So, Maddie, you and I are on that together, and we need your
Mm.
support. September 5th, 2023, and hereafter going forward, we need to declare Lieutenant David Onley Day. September 5th was the day in 2007 where he was officially sworn into office as Honorable Lieutenant Governor. So we really want to pay homage and respect to former Lieutenant Governor David Onley, who just passed away a few weeks ago. And I'm still bummed about it. It's
Yeah.
something that it really hit me hard. Like, I literally was just talking to him a few weeks prior. I mean, the man was so generous with his time, and one of those people that was, such had a high rank within the province,
Yeah.
but was so
Like we said,
personable.
like when we have people in power or in the at the table that have the lived experience, like, it's amazing how things change at a faster pace. Because really, what people they need to see, understand, and feel, and connect, and then do.
He he really gave people with disabilities a voice.
Yeah,
I mean,
a
yeah,
spotlight too. A
yeah,
spotlight.
and when he was in conversation with you, nothing else mattered. He really gave you his undivided attention, which
Mhm.
I am forever indebted to this man for just meeting him and listening to him, and
Yeah,
hearing him and him listening to me.
yeah,
It when people believe in you, Maddie, the the semblance of that is incredible. Like, the semblance
yeah,
of people believing in you and understanding that your voice matters, your presence matters. You know, One of the things that I struggled early on in the advocacy work that I do is the semblance of existence versus making an impact. You
mm,
know, for the most part, people with disabilities, you know, you know, whether it be through um, just the stereotype, just existed.
yeah.
There was a certain plateau that you leveled
Seen
off
but
at.
not heard. Seen but not heard.
Well said. Well said. That's
Yeah,
exactly. And
yeah,
being heard can come in a multitude of levels.
yeah,
And sometimes, as you talked about earlier with your restaurant fiasco, it's utilizing
yeah,
your position, your voice, to really get things to the masses on
yeah,
utilizing social media. I mean, the good stories are great, but it's
yeah,
the not so good stories are the ones that get heard.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean to end this live on a damper, but it's true. The good stories are great,
Hmm.
but the not so good stories are the ones that get heard. So
Yeah. But we just need to find the way. Okay, so allies, your job is to see the
yeah,
barriers, find a way of helping us remove them. Uh, what we're looking for is a path forward where we're always at the table. That we're when you're looking at making change in whatever business you're doing, you're going to build something, grow something, whatever. Look around at the possible barriers and say, hey, maybe we need somebody with disabilities, with that particular disability, to see if our plans make sense. I love it that we're seeing that happen more and more, but we need to find a way of enabling the smaller businesses, the smaller organizations to have that same outlook. You know, accessibility shouldn't be a goal. It should be a start. And that's how I'm ending things today.
Seek support at the beginning rather than validation at the end.
Yep.
On that note, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We got to update this graphic, but
Yep.
I am at aboveandbeyond.Anthony Frisina on Facebook, at Anthony_Frisina on Twitter, at Matt J. Dever on Twitter, at AutisticRambler.com, at www.anthonyfrisina.ca. Thank you, Maddie. I appreciate that. At above beyond for you on Twitter. Send us an email. We want to hear from you. We'd love to have a conversation with you of any topics you'd like to discuss. At above and beyond the podcast at gmail.com. Whew. Wow. Okay. No, we're good, buddy.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye now.